quickly as possible. That's the way things go on this B-Stream. We start off strong and as fast as we can to get these players through their matches and get some commentary alongside it as well. Astral subbing in for Ocelon for the Method roster, who did re-qualify for the Rival Series. But EG, they are looking for themselves because they just got demoted recently to the Rival Series. They got dropped down here in our earlier matchup between them and Mouse. They're not looking to lose to another EU team that has a similar standing as themselves.
They have to be careful, though, because Method is the team that eliminated Space Station Gaming.
True.
So they do have that ability to do so. EG have a lot to play for here as well. Corrupted G is not going to want to go home. Well, he might want to go home and early and enjoy his birthday. I'm not 100% sure what's on his mind.
Yeah, we're not going to talk for him.
I think that he would rather win this tournament if he can. So, like that being said, both teams, a lot to play for. Let's get right into it.
Drippe, we didn't see too much of him in the previous series between them and Mouse. Now we'll see what he can do for his teammates. A great touch by the Method offense. Burrito B over to Rick Ronde, one of the longest standing duos in the game. And Astral subbing in, as mentioned before. He's been doing great work for them so far. This is like the tournament of subs that have been doing pretty well for their teams. Method have a pretty good sub. We have Mouse Sports that have a pretty good sub. With Speed, it's great to see all these other people just getting over to these tournaments and participating in them. But Burrito B, Astral, and Rick's Ronde controlling the offense so far for the first 2 minutes of play.
Yeah, you can just see it from as soon as we've tuned into this. The ball has been on Evil Genius's aim for majority of the game. This was a problem that they've had earlier on in their series to where they weren't able to get the ball out of their zone versus Mouse. Now it looks like the same's happening, but we are starting to see some life of offense here for Evil Geniuses.
Now Rick's Ronde will be stopped out by Drippe towards that midfield line. Corrupted G making sure to pick up where his teammate left off, but now there is a counterattack option for Astral. He can't maintain control. There's a big booming clear right towards the net. Classic's going to be denied access to the goal line from the defense, and a big booming bump. Not enough to stop this from going in for Corrupted G. They thought they had an opening, but it's not going to get that easy for Method to get a goal.
Good breakaway chance here for Corrupted G. Applies a lot of pressure to the ball. We saw Burrito be in net, 24 boost. He does. Looks like it bumps into Rick Ronde a bit in net, kind of obstructing his path to the ball. So maybe just a little bit of confusion there as they both rush to make a challenge. But that being said, this does put Method on the back end. They're down by one. Rick Ronde looking for a goal here, and they look to apply pressure. Burrito B is going to back off, wait for a better chance here. That one's been off.
Yeah, just going to fizzle out a little bit. There is a great angle there, but not sharp enough for them to put it through the net. Now there's a chance from Rick Ronde to just rotate back in, see what he could do to apply some pressure on Classics, who had possession of the ball, but not long enough to put a shot towards the net. Drippe, he's going to continue with the application of pressure towards the defense of Method. Burrito B over to Rick's Ronde, pops it up off the backboard, and now Corrupted G with the read instead. Astral tried to intercept that one, but can't stop the offensive attack. There it goes over to Rick's Ronde after the demo, which bought them a little bit of time to get their wits about them. But Corrupted G, again, he's been going so strong on offense and on defense. It is his birthday, and he's trying to prove that he is worthy of moving on to the next round as well. As Classic, he's going to have to do his best on defense to prevent any more shots from coming true.
I'm not going to lie, that's definitely a weird goal for your birthday.
Yeah.
For anyone's birthday. But, I mean, that being said, I would love to see Corrupted G make day 3. It's about whether or not him and the rest of his team can do that against this Method squad. They're in the losers bracket pod, which means this is round 1 losers as well.
Yep.
Which means they have to win 2 straight in losers if they want to make it into day 3. That's a daunting task, especially when you realize whoever wins this has to play against the loser of G2 and Cloud9.
It's not a win-win situation at all, but you got to focus on one series at a time, and that's what these two teams are trying to do. EG maintaining as much offensive pressure as they can to hold on to this one goal. We see a lot out of Method like we did in the first half of play, but with less than a minute remaining, the few shots they have been able to put towards the net just have not been enough. In only less than 30 seconds now, Drippe, demo, still not really doing enough because it's on their own side. Corrupted G, he didn't really need to get the touch there, but would have been nice. There's a nice one from Drippe, though. Has to force Rick's Ronde to get a save there as Corrupted G continues to put some more shots on the net. There's another one. Classics almost had the follow-up. 6 seconds, it's possible for Method to tie it up, but if you're EG and you've been able to hold on to the ball, you're going to put another one towards the net, and eventually that's going to hit the ground. EG take game 1 of this best of 5.
Yeah, they do, and definitely very good from them as well. We came into that one, and it looked like a lot of pressure was being put on by Method at the start of this one.
Oh, yeah.
And we were obviously very concerned for Evil Geniuses because that constant pressure usually leads into goals. But they were able to break out, control the pace of the game for a little bit, which was something that you don't see often from Evil Geniuses, like especially looking even into the past season of RLCS. And they're able to control, dictate the game. They score a goal, and they're able to keep that offensive pressure going and hold firm for the rest of the game. Now, if they can continue to do so, it remains to be seen. I do have a question, or I do question where the minds are of this Method squad that we saw take down Space Station Gaming yesterday.
True.
They lost to Dignitas 3-1, and that's why they're in the position that they are in. So, don't know like if that being dropped to the losers round kind of hurts them or their momentum and how they feel, but they have to dig deep into this series. Otherwise, if they lose, their DreamHack run ends here.
I don't mean to rag on Method a lot, but they've been in situations like this before in a bunch of other tournaments. They haven't really had the greatest performances and won a lot of big events as the Method roster. This one specifically, we did have the old Method org in the ROCS at one point, but that was way back when. This team, they've been around the rival series for a bit, especially with Rix Ronde and Burrito B and then Astral coming in to help them out. But they're no strangers to these kind of situations, but they haven't really had their moment to break out and prove themselves. And there's a lot about proving yourself in this tournament for tons of these teams. EG, they got to prove that they aren't as bad as a lot of people are saying they are after they got demoted into the rival series. Maybe it's just the other teams were just that good. Astral, Rix Ronde, and Burrito B, they want to prove that next season they'll have a even stronger chance at promoting and getting top 2 in the rival series. Astral almost had a chance there, but Burrito B and Rix Ronde, they don't have any chance to get back in time. Classics with the counter attack and starts off pretty similar to how it did in the last game.
Yeah, you can kind of tell how just like Astral is a little bit frustrated there. He sits there, net does not move. They're making an attempt to rotate back. But you got to give props to EG though. A great counter attack play. They feed it downfield to Classics, and he puts that one in.
What a great way to start off game 2, especially after taking that win with not much effort out of EG on offense. We saw some shots here and there, but they didn't really try and give it their all by sending 2 players up at a time, go for passing plays. It's more just like sending shots and keep applying as much offense as possible on the net and make sure Method had no options themselves. And we'll see if they can continue that here or if Method will find the answer to crack the case of getting past the defense. Drippe, he's able to get that right towards Burrito B. Not the greatest of spots to be in, but he recovers in a decent fashion. Rix Ronde over to Astral, but he gets demoed for his effort. Drippe not able to hold on to the ball on the roof of his car for long enough, but clear for Classics. He can't get it past Astral either. Corrupted G will give it a go, and off to the side it goes. And then Classics again with a follow-up. Eventually, they're able to break out their own end, but Method, while they were keeping them at bay in the Evil Geniuses side, they weren't doing anything on offense to maintain possession of the ball. They were more just reacting and hoping that EG weren't able to put any more shots towards their own end. Now Burrito B, Rix Ronde have to rotate back for this attempt by EG. Astral, he's able to get that one forward. Can't continue it after getting taken out of the air. Classics. Seen a lot on defense so far this series. Making sure to be patient enough, not overexert himself. But there's a great setup by Burrito B, but nobody wanting to overcommit on Method. As Classics takes past midfield, gets taken away by Astral. He might have a shot here, but Corrupted G in position a few times now to deny any attempt from going through for Method. Classics. Wait for this one. Astral still unsuccessful in his effort of trying to continue that offensive pressure and momentum going forward. There might be a chance here. Rix Ronde over to the backboard. There's the there's the finish. Ties things up. They were waiting for their moment, and they capitalized on it.
You're absolutely right. Look at the pass from Burrito B into the air. Look at where Corrupted G is. It's a valiant effort, but Rix Ronde has that all day. He'll put it in to tie this up in game 2.
We're just waiting to see what they would do to try and counteract EG on defense. They were poking and prodding left and right, and eventually it paid off. But again, Corrupted G, he's not going to let them go down without a fight. And don't want to go to an overtime situation. We saw what happened to other teams in overtimes like the Peeps, Astral, Rix Ronde, and Burrito B. Not able to get it past yet, but Corrupted G can't beat Astral to the punch there. Classics able to jump up in time to avoid Burrito B and get the save. Drippe is going to hand that off, and Classics will have a chance to try and get this away from Burrito B. But maybe there's a one-on-one situation. It goes past one, but not a follow-up quite yet from Rix Ronde. You could tell that Method are being, I hate to say Method are being methodical with their approach, but that's exactly what they're doing.
They're definitely taking their time to try to see if they can get things through, but they absolutely have to. They have to be careful with what they're doing. This is an elimination match. They're down by 1 in the series. They need to make sure that they aren't putting themselves in a bad spot. They already dropped a goal on transition, so they need to make sure that they're not committing too many resources forward.
We saw that happen a few times in the last game. Great to see the adjustment by this team. Might give us a little insight into how
that might be a play.
Bump. No, it's not enough from Corrupted G to put it in.
That was very, very close. It looked like there was a bump on the play, and it looked like Corrupted G had a hole where he could have forced the ball through. That being said, it does get blocked. They're going to continue to apply some offensive pressure here, but the clock is ticking. The next goal could just be the winner here in game 2.
There's a chance here for Corrupted G. He hits it off the backboard, going for the double touch. He might be at setup, but no, all 3 members are pushed up. That's a very dangerous spot. Rix Ronde bumps out of the way. Classics hits that towards the post, but not enough to get it on by. 30 seconds now for EG or Method to get the advantage before we get granted an overtime. A good demo by Corrupted G on the offensive side, and he's going to have to give that all the way to the other end. Method trying to push the issue, push it past the defensive end. A few seconds and one final attempt from Method. Astro sends it forward. There's a touch that could have been all they needed from Rix Ronde, as he was just in a bad spot. And I think he got bumped out of the way by one of the defenders. It's going to dwindle down the seconds. Might stay up enough for another attempt by EG. Classic hits it in the air. Burrito B just wanted to stop, and it goes to overtime.
They had an opportunity to close out game number 2, but they let it go by the wayside. We saw Rix Ronde in the right position, but he wasn't able to connect with the touch. And if he was able to, that could have been the end of this game too. The series could have been tied 1-1. We'll have to see whether or not EG can apply the pressure. Put it on match point. Drippe up in the air. They still have Corrupted G here on the side with 100 boosts. He's looking for a pass play. No one is there from EG, so they have to give up space and play this off from their own end.
Well, you can see that Classics was debating on going for that one or leaving it for his teammate, but he had to take that option because you could see Method rotating in. Astral has been going for so many setups off the backboard, uncontested by EG, but there hasn't been many follows. An insane save, though, from the shot. Bounces off the crossbar and the post, and out Astral with the follow, trying to get it past Drippe, but unsuccessful again. So many attempts by Method to push things through, get the victory here, and tie the series, but it's all for naught so far.
Yeah, EG are holding like a wall here, and they will continue to do so at this point. Rix Ronde looking for a pass. Astral has it, but oh, look, every time someone there from EG is able to make the block, they're looking to see if they can push this through the offense. Method at the possession right now. They're trying to keep it in play, but Corrupted G is going to send this downfield.
There's an attempt by Corrupted G to rotate in, but again, Burrito B and Rix Ronde will not let that happen too easy. Drippe, he's going to send it off to the side. Classics with a good job, but Burrito B is there in position to knock it aside. Astral going to be waiting for his moment, but no boost to work with as he sends it off to Rix Ronde off the backboard. Now comes Burrito B. He has an angle, but it's not a good enough one to put it on target. Astral, though, he's going to go for an insane block on the play, but again, they can't maintain enough offense to break down this defensive wall that EG have built.
Yeah, they have to be careful and watch out for the counterattack. No, that's a butt that goes the wrong way. Classics, he has to get another touch here because if he misses that, that goes into the net because no one from EG had time to get back.
That was very dangerous from all of the members of EG. Luckily, Classics, as you mentioned, was able to get that second bump and prevent disaster from striking into the back of the net. But Rix Ronde, he will be able to take it forward, sends it off with a very dangerous angle. Astral almost in position, barely off the mark, sends it past, but again, getting stopped by the defender. He knew what was happening as both players went up for the shot, and again, Method still have not found their moment to capitalize on.
The Method are looking for the right moment to capitalize on, but for Evil Geniuses, they have to make the most of their opportunities as well, not throw them away. Oh, there's a bump. Drippin gets thrown away from the play, but there's a pass. Is that going to get past Rick's Ronde? It does. Evil Geniuses are going to send it to match point.
What a way to do it, too. We saw it happen during the kickoff goal as well. They got a counterattack happening, and now there's another one here. Method overexerting themselves. You can see how careful they were before not to make the same mistake, but now it happens in overtime. They're being sent to match point, as you mentioned, and now it is all eyes on them to be able to try and pull something off to take down Evil Geniuses and move on to face off against the loser of Cloud9 and G2, which is another insane matchup.
That is another big matchup as well, but this is very good for Evil Geniuses. They find their form, they find their offense to get back in, but this is also blatant mistakes from Method, just kind of hesitating in front of the ball and leaving these positional mistakes open for Evil Geniuses to capitalize on, and that's what they're doing. They're capitalizing, they're sending the ball downfield. Corrupted G hits Classics with a pass. He'll redirect it on net or a Classic, and I mean, that happened so many times over the series. Like in the game, in first game we tuned into, this obvious like game 2, like Method have to stop being caught out on these transitional plays. They have to be able to keep up a really good consecutive offense. Otherwise, they're going to drop this series.
And they were doing well to make sure they didn't make any mistakes before, but they weren't taking any risks on offense. And as soon as they do take a risk, then they get taken advantage of and get counterattacked.
Yeah, and I mean, for Method, they have the possession, they have the speed. They can keep going with this offense. They can keep Evil Geniuses stuck into their own end, but they have to score. They have to break the defense, not break themselves.
And the way EG won that last game is exactly what we were asking them to do against Mouse. So they have learned from their mistakes in that series in this one, but Rick's Ronde, he's trying to make sure there are no mistakes made and a goal instead on the side of Method early on in this one. Corrupted G barely able to get in the way of that one, with only one boost left. But again, gets reset towards midfield. Rick's Ronde over to Classics. Gets a big booming shot, but not a reception at all from his teammate Corrupted G. Now Astral over to Classics. Popped up off the back wall. Astral can't get the touch there either. There's a bump. There's a touch from Rick's Ronde, but no, it's a bit too wide. Corrupted G over to Classics. There's a center, but nobody in position again. That's happened a few times now from EG.
Now, for Method here, they have to reverse sweep EG or their run in DreamHack Dallas ends here. They have to put everything else on the line. Evil Geniuses, though, applying some offensive pressure. This is not what you want to see if you're Method. You want to be the one bringing that ball downfield, not the other way around.
Corrupted G over to Drippe. There's a great shot towards the backboard. Now a follow-up, but this there from Rick's Ronde. Drippe again with the reception. Astral been doing good on offense, and pretty solid on defense just to get those clears away and try and set something up for his teammates. Worked well against Space Station, but not well enough against EG. That's an actual favorable position to be in. Rick's Ronde, luck is going to be on their side as they will get that all the way down and get the goal.
Yeah, like you said, very favorable position to be in for Rick's Ronde, but Classics, I don't think he had any boost in the tank. He was waiting for the 100 boost in the corner, and the ball was just moving too fast for him to actually react and get into the way.
He did not expect it at all.
So now for Method, this is they were gifted a goal
basically
here. Can they hold on to it? It's a question.
That's the one they need to answer the most, especially in this series. Can they hold on to this momentum they have been granted by that goal? They have one in the bank, but they need more money or else they're going to be taken to court by EG as they're going to rip them all from their money and force them to be bankrupt and go home empty-handed and not into day 3 or a chance at it at least. Rick's Ronde will send that off to Burrito B. Actually, now it'll just be Corrupted G to intercept it instead. Astral. He'll take it in stride, right past one, but not past another. Can't maintain control, has to rely on his teammates instead. Rick's Ronde doesn't get a touch of this, gives it up to Drippe. Could have been a simple goal, but barely off the target. As Drippe again goes for the ceiling shot, and actually use that for a setup instead. Now Corrupted G, he'll have a chance Seems like things are slowing down. There might be an opportunity for Method to try and clear it away. A great touch by Burrito B to pop it up for Astral. He gets a solid shot towards the net, but again, saved by Classics.
They definitely good save there from Classics. He needs to get that one in, but they also need to make sure that they clear this out well enough to where they can set up their own offense. Corrupted G will put it in the midfield, but a boomer downfield. Classics gets caught off guard, but Corrupted G there to save them. They keep this deficit down to 1.
Well, Corrupted G, the savior of the century there. Otherwise, Classics was caught with his pants down on the defensive end, and Method were almost able to push the goal through the back of the net instead. Now it's EG on offense. It's a chance they can maintain this pressure. Corrupted G off the corner. Drippe, he gets a solid opportunity for a setup. Classics deflected to the other end. Corrupted G again. He's been trying to go for a few setups here and there, but they still haven't been paying off at all for EG. It might be a shot for Classics. There hasn't been many infield passes from EG, I've noticed. They haven't been going for many of those options. Try to get big booming shots towards the backboard and maybe go for some finishes from that, centering it, and still just has not been working out at all to get them tied up with Method. Now Drippe. He's going to send that one over to Classics. At least they're maintaining control on offense. This is similar to what we saw with Method in the last game, where they had a lot of opportunities to keep up the pressure, but not many great shots towards the net. And they didn't really have any angles open to them to try and strengthen their lead, even come back from how things were going in that last one before the overtime. Burrito B now, he has a chance to break out finally. Now they just need to follow up with it, get that safety net goal, and instead, Astral with another backboard setup. Nobody in position for Method, will be reset towards their side.
Yeah, now Method just looking to hold on to their lead. There's 30 seconds left on the clock, and they still have plenty of time. They also have the offensive pressure. They're looking to hold it, but this one will go the other way. Can Evil Geniuses score on the ball down in transition? It looks like that the answer is no, as this one will get cleared out, but they are trying to keep this one in, see if they can close out the series. Last 10 seconds here, and the ball is going to go to Classics.
Now over to Burrito B. And you already answered it yourself earlier. Not going to be able to come back and tie things up in that game, but that was great work being put in by Method. They showcased what they were able to do in the last game as well. They held them at bay. They didn't really need to do too much offensively after they got that first goal. That was, we're still going to say it was gifted to them by the Rocket Gods. It was an insane pinch off the wall, and the player that was next to him as well with that challenge went all the way past Classics, but that's why you got to be prepared for anything to happen in Rocket League, especially these insane bounces. Maybe you won't be able to predict them, but being able to react to them and having enough boost, not having to wait there the whole time like Classics did, you got to just be prepared for anything.
Yeah, you're right. You do have to be prepared for anything. You always got to make sure to have boost. If you see that ball rolling all the way down to the side of the field, maybe you should make the challenge because you're the last man back. This is an elimination match. For Method, they will gladly buy a goal and keep this game sitting at 1 goal for as long as they need to.
Yep, they're good at that.
And they will try to continue to do so. Question is, moving into this next game, Game 4, where is the momentum? Method, they were kind of gifted a goal here, so I don't know if they have a lot of momentum to base off of that. And the momentum that Evil Genius has had has kind of diminished because they just dropped a game. So this one is really going to be based off of who can start off early on the kickoff.
Yes.
Where are we going to see some offensive control here, and then what becomes of that?
And as we get into this one, that is what we need to see from EG specifically. They had so much offensive pressure, and Method were doing flawlessly on defense. But now we see a great coordinated effort by Rix Ronde and Burrito B. Astral there to get involved as well. Waiting to see if he can bait out Classics. Gets it past one and past Corrupted G. Now he just needs to set up Rix Ronde, but Drippe, he had the read on the shot in position to back his teammates up. We've mentioned it a few times now, we really haven't seen too much out of him so far on offense. Maybe he's just been in an awkward position after them dropping down into the Rivals series, but Corrupted G unable to do much against Rix Ronde and Astral's efforts off the backboard. Drippe with the miss, and that's going to lead to a goal for Burrito B.
Like you said, it's a big miss from Drippe in front, and Burrito B will gladly clean that up. It's a good pass from Astro, but if you're Drippe, you gotta be prepared because that one is going much faster than you are. It's gonna bounce out first, and you can turn that into a better, more powerful clear if you get to it, but you gotta be able to have that prediction. Unfortunate miss from him, and it leads to Method scoring early. We talked about that before getting into the game, how important that was gonna be, and they're already starting to apply even more offense here.
We might even see a exact same game as we did in the last one. Not the same goal specifically, but the same kind of pressure from Method, them just being stuck on defense as EG are just going to be trying to put in shots left and right, but eventually they have to crack it with a demo like that. Almost enough, but no, denied by Rix Ronde. That's exactly what he wanted to do on the defensive and off the post and out.
Method are trying to stay alive here. They are not going to give Evil Geniuses an easy goal.
Never giving an inch is what their motto is on defense, and it's been working out so far. I've just made that up. It's not actually theirs, but it should be after this series because that's all they have been doing. Astral getting knocked away from the midfield line. They know how dangerous he is with all those setups he has been playing, but Drippe with a great setup there. Burrito B has been in position a few times now to take that away. Rix Ronde, there's a shot, but so is the save for Classics. Rotates in, there's the counterattack option, but no boost to work with. Rix Ronde doesn't get the touch. Not even Astral. He waited out. There it is, the demo to the goal, and now it's tied 1-1.
This is a great play here from Evil Geniuses. The hesitation. You look at Corrupted G. Why is he not touching the ball? But you don't see Classics and Drippe coming through for the bump play.
The bait and switch.
Into the shot. It was such a good play, and it worked out well. Evil Geniuses tied us up 1-1.
And those are the kind of plays we need to see from EG, but we don't want to see this from Rix Ronde. He is able to get the save, though. Very dangerous off the kickoff there, trying to just be more physical, and that's what we've been missing from EG on offense. We used to see Classics going around getting a bunch of demos and bumps left and right between all of the teams they faced off in the RLCS, but we haven't seen too much of that during this tournament. Now they know what they need to do to break down the defensive method, just take them out of position, bump, demo, fake them, whatever they need to do, it will work out at the end of the day because Method, they are able to hold on defensively, but not if they don't have a player in position. Drippe off the backboard, Corrupted G, there's a touch, but almost able to sneak that in the upper 90. Astral over to Classics, he gets a great block there. With a follow-up, that might be open, but no, he should have waited for Burrito B to try and challenge. As Rix Ronde might have to worry about some pressure, but not enough there to lead to a goal.
The Evil Geniuses, you can tell they are pretty on fire at this point, just with how they're moving down the field, being as aggressive here as Method is, and just making sure that they get some good quality shots, but they got to be careful on defense. Burrito B brings this one all the way back for Method.
What a way to do it, too. Rix Ronde all the way to Burrito B, jumped from midfield.
Oh, that's a nice shot.
Beautiful touch. No one in position, though, on defense. First time we've really seen a solid counterattack option be executed on by Method because we saw a few of those from EG so far in this series. Again, they win the kickoff, but not going to do too much for them just yet. Could be a chance for Method to, again, hold on to this, slow things down the pace that they're used to. They don't want to do that, though. They want to keep exerting pressure onto the defensive end of EG. Burrito B, he's going to drop this down. Astral, not really an optimal position. Capitalize on Rix Ronde to Burrito B. He's going to bounce it off the backboard. They've had so much room to work with off that backboard, but they haven't been able to execute on any of these options.
And you can see Method, they are threatening it every moment that they get an opportunity to. They have to watch out, though, because Evil Geniuses are also looking to see if they can finish the series out. They're putting a lot of resources here, though, in front here. So now they have to be careful. Drippe needs to buy some time for his teammates to rotate back.
Now Drippe, he actually has to lead that up to Classics and Corrupted G. Corrupted G only the last man defending. He gets a pass one, but again, as soon as they have an option for a counterattack, they still have no boost to work with trying to get that away. There was a dangerous shot going right wide of the net. Drippe with a setup of his own straight towards the net again, but again, I keep saying again because they still have been doing the same thing so many times for EG. We haven't seen many other change-ups for them on offense. There's a chance.
Oh, Drippe with the dunk! Great effort here from Drippe on the solo play. He needs to do this one if he wants to bring EG back into the game. Burrito B jumps up for this one, but Drippe hangs low, doesn't dodge into it, and just forces it through with his boost. It's just enough to get it past Burrito B, and now this game's all tied up with 42 seconds left.
But if you're EG, gotta worry about Method. They were able to bring things back quite quickly last time. They might be able to here, unless you're Corrupted G and say no thank you to that. Drippe going to be doing his own homework, and that's where it will pay off with A's across the board. Drippe puts it through.
Great shot here from Drippe. He is popping off right now. What a dunk! And then he follows it up, beating Astral to the ball to send that in with 31 seconds left. Evil Geniuses are looking to close this series out. They won it.
And that is how you do it as well. Drippe finally getting involved on offense. We've seen him trying to go for different options all across the board. And again, he finally was able to capitalize on one opportunity, and that is all they needed to get the lead. But again, we've seen a few times where they've been in this situation, they had the lead, and if they were able to bring things back, or with this much time remaining, they only have one good go at it for them to tie things up, get us through overtime, and a potential game of 5. Less than 10 seconds. Here comes a touch from Astral. That would have been perfect. Rix Ronde can't get it through in the air. They just need to hit the ground for EG to move on. They do that, knock it aside, and it will be Evil Geniuses moving on in the lower bracket and Method going home early.
Yeah, for Evil Geniuses, they put up a very strong fight here. I did like what I saw from Method early on. They were applying a lot of offensive pressure, but they couldn't convert their goals. And that was something that was really big over the course of the series. I believe after a while, they lost steam and